Should you be publishing low content books or transition across to children's books? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk through some of the positives and the negatives of publishing both of those formats. And I'll also give you some ideas about what you should be doing next and also some of the results that I've achieved by publishing my books. So let's get into things right now. Hello and welcome. My name is Romney. Thank you very much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Now let's go and identify some of the positives and the negatives of publishing low content books and children's books. Low content books, we know, are highly available. They're really easy to create, but there are some disadvantages for doing that. But what about children's books? That seems to be the go right now of publishing children's books, but what are the things that you need to look out for when you're publishing them? So let's get into things right now. I've got some different things that I've outlined just from my experience, and we'll talk through those, and I'll expand on why you should or shouldn't be publishing either low content books or children's books. There's a bit of a dilemma for many people on what books to publish, being children's books or low content books. Let me give you a summary of what the positives and negatives are for low content books. So the considerations, firstly, they are generally fast to create. So you can create a low content book within the day and get ready to have it published. There are no content books that you could do blank journals, but if we're considering low content books, it might take you maybe 2 or 3 days to create. Usually the cost is fairly minimal. You can learn at the entry level about how to create these books, which is fantastic. So I always encourage that people are new to publishing books just to start off with some low content books to get started, to understand the design element, creating your manuscript, formatting it, and getting it uploaded to Amazon, and ensuring that you can actually get it correctly done so that you don't get any rejections. But what are the negatives? Well, you'll have high competition, so more competitive keywords to rank for, and that leads on to a higher ad spend or cost per click for your keywords when you're using Amazon ads. So the more competitive the niche, the higher the cost for keywords, and then you've also got to get the sales to get reviews as well. So it's one of those interesting spots that if you go for the lower end and low content books, then you're likely to pay the price on the other end, being the higher cost for advertising and then also trying to generate sales. You will also find it challenging to get ARC reviews. So that's your review team. You could try and use different platforms to try and get reviews, but if you use something like Pubby, you're unlikely to get them for low content books. So you really will struggle to get your reviews. And another one is you're not permitted to upload low content books to platforms like Ingram Spark or Draft to Digital. So it limits your distribution opportunities. But it is an excellent way to discover the basics of cover design and uploading with little or even no cost. The final thing is with low content books, you can't create ebook versions in a way. So if it was a camping holiday journal like this one, people aren't going to buy the ebook version. If it's a learn to write, they're not going to do that. If it's a colouring book, they're not going to buy the ebook version. So you will limit that capacity for you to do that. But what about children's books? Well, children's books, there's probably more ticks than crosses on this one. Potential for greater earning potential is going to be because you can actually distribute it wider. So you could do it on publish your books on Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, even Publish Drive. There's a few different platforms you can do that. And you could potentially charge customers more for your book. So instead of having a low content book, which you're charging $7.99, you might be able to charge $12.99. So the royalty amount is greater. Maybe one of the considerations is if you're doing a children's book, the interior, is it going to be colour, premium colour, or black and white? Obviously, if you go for premium colour, the cost is going to be more expensive, so you've got to weigh that up as well. They're more challenging and expensive to design, but that gives you an advantage because it means that less people are going to be doing children's books. So it's going to save you in the long run. You have less competition niches, which means that you can then put keywords in for Amazon ads, which you are going to be paying less for, and you can probably rank better for keywords as well when your book is on Amazon. The other thing is AI is making advancements in the way of creating illustrations, helping with your story development, with grammatical changes, and even translations to different languages. There's even AI that can translate your book to an audiobook. I think OpenAI have actually got a new app that you can do that with as well. But it will start to get more competitive as these advancements happen, and it might become easier for people to do children's books, then it will get more competitive. So if it's easier to create illustrations for a book rather than engaging an illustrator and designer, then that might start to flood the market a bit more. So now is probably the best time to create those books. The other benefit of a children's book, you could create it into a paperback, a hardback, an ebook, and even translate it or create an audiobook. So there's multiple different income streams you can create from a children's book compared to the low content book. So there are some of the things that you really need to consider when you're looking at both of these. Personally, I prefer children's books because I love making them. I love the long-term impact of them. It's less competitive. It's costing me less to advertise. I can get reviews, which means I'll get more sales. So things just add up in that regard. And I just think that that is the way to go for the time being. I have published high content books as well, but that's another level again. And if you are engaging different people to help with the grammatical changes and things within high content books, it could be different. But again, the advancements in AI could help you to create high content books. But for the moment, I think children's books are definitely the way to go. Next, summary and actions. There will always be a cost for what you do. But what do I mean by this? Well, the cost will be if you go into a competitive marketplace because you don't want to spend the time and the money to create more or harder books to create, then it will cost you in the long run. It may not cost you at the front end, but it will at the back end, and you may get less sales. So consider the long-term investment rather than the short-term investment and the cost involved with it. Just do some niche research. Find out what's performing well. Go back and see some of my niche research videos and how I conduct that niche research in children's books. So that will help you to determine if there's a niche that you might be able to create a book in. And finally, increase your skills and knowledge in the creation of children's books. You might need to pay a couple $100 to get a high quality course, hopefully like mine, and you can learn all the elements of publishing successfully and doing it the right way with a course, say, like mine. So if you were interested in that, make sure you jump on my website, globalselfpublishing.com, and go to the courses and publish a children's book, and you'll see that course right there. It's got a significant amount of content and resources you can download and use, so make sure you check that out. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to go to my website, globalselfpublishing.com. There's a wealth of different materials and downloads you can take from that website. But also remember, I've got my premium publishing course for children's books, which is available. Just go to the website, and again, it's under the link under courses, and you'll be able to learn everything you need to know about publishing children's books successfully across Amazon KDP and Ingram Spark. So until my next video, I look forward to seeing you then. If you'd like to learn more about self-publishing, just make sure you visit my website, globalselfpublishing.com, and on this website you'll find a ton of free resources. So if you scroll down on the first page, you'll see an introduction to the website. You'll also get to see some of the courses and content that I've created for you. If you go all the way up to the top here, you can actually also go to the different resources that you can download for free. So here's a number of resources that you can see straight away. Also, if you go to self-publishing courses, you can see that I've also got my premium self-publishing course on publishing children's book. I've also got free access to my 2-hour KDP Fast Track course. Take a look at the preview for that, and then further down you'll see the other courses that are available, plus a sign up if you want to access all those courses for just $19 per month. And then finally, I've got software and tools. This provides an outline of the tools that I use for my publishing, and it's a great opportunity to see what I use. I don't use a lot of software programs, but the ones that I do use are the ones that have helped me significantly to elevate my publishing for the last 5 years. So thanks again. Remember to visit globalselfpublishing.com, and all the resources that you need are just in one place.